Hello, this is Mrs. Ridgway. Today I'm going to review and work through the tutorial for session 1.2, Excel Chapter 1. Turn with me to page 35 if you would like to follow along. To enter a formula that calculates the total cost of printing, click cell F10. Type the word total as you see it in the textbook. Press enter. And then number 3, you always start a formula with the equal symbol. It does not matter if you use capitalized letters or lowercase letters in the formula. We're going to type equal D11 times E11 and then press enter. The result, $3,920, shows in F11. And if you click on F11, you will be able to see both the result and up above in the formula bar, you'll see the formula. Click cell F12. Type equal to begin a formula. Okay, so we're going to be clicking on cell references to create our formula this time. So we're going to click D12, and then times E12, just by clicking on it, and then press enter. The results should be $1,007.25. Let's click on F12. Make sure that your formula shows equal D12 times E12. Now we're going to learn to copy and paste the formula in cell F12. So click F12, and on the Home tab in your clipboard area, so I'm going to click Home tab, clipboard area, click Copy. Number 3, select the range F13 through F15 where you want to paste the formula, and then go up to the clipboard and choose Paste. Okay, so we pasted. Number 5 on page 38. If necessary, click cell F13. All right, let's click F13 to make it active cell. The formula equal D13 times E13 should appear up in your formula bar. Notice that the cell reference in the formula were updated to reflect its current position of the cell in the worksheet. Number 6, click F14. I'm just going to press the escape key to get rid of the little marquee going on up there. All right, click cell F14. You should see up in the formula bar at the top, equal D14 times E14. Click F15 and verify that equal D15 times E15 appears up in the formula bar. Okay, on page 39, to use auto sum to sum the miscellaneous expense values, click cell E16 to make it active and type, just like you see in the book, subtotal. press Tab, and on the Home tab in the Editing group, Home tab to the far right, Editing group, click Auto Sum arrow. Auto Sum arrow. The buttons menu opens and it displays the 5 common functions: the sum function, the average function, count numbers, max for maximum, and min for minimum. Click Sum. To enter the sum function, the formula equals sum, open parentheses F11 through F15 is entered in F16. The cells being summed are selected and highlighted on the worksheet so you can quickly confirm that Excel selected the appropriate range from the available data. On page 40, we're going to press Enter. This is indeed what we're wanting to sum, so press the Enter key to accept the formula. The sum of the miscellaneous expenses is $9,390.55. Carmen wants you to include a 5% sales tax on the miscellaneous expenses. So we're going to calculate the sales tax and total expenses. Number 1, click cell E9. E9. Type the words tax rate, just like you see in the book. Tab, and type 5%. Enter. The 5% value is displayed in the cell for F9, but the stored value is actually 0.05. Percentages are displayed with the percent symbol, but stored as the decimal value. Number 3, click E17. Type est tax for estimated tax, and then tab, and type the formula equal F9, which is the 5%, times, so equal F9. Oh, mine's not showing equal. Let me go back. Equal, there we go, F9 times times, let me look here, I've lost my place. Okay, F9 times F16. F16. Press Enter. F9 should now, let's see, the estimated taxes is $469.53. Okay, so we multiplied the subtotal times the 5% to get the estimated tax. Number 5, in cell E18, type all caps total. Press Tab, and then type equal sum. Don't forget the parenthesis. F16 through, that's what the colon means, through F17, and close the parenthesis. Notice what it has selected in the worksheet. Selected F16 through F17 and press Enter. The overall total is $9,860.08. Number 7, click cell F18. To view the formula up in the formula bar above. Make sure that this is correct, and mine is. Okay, now we're going to be moving and copying a cell or a range. One way to move a cell or a range is to select it. Position the pointer over the bottom border of the selection. drag the selection to a new location, and then release the mouse button. This technique is called drag and drop. We've worked with drag and drop before. You can also use the drag and drop technique to copy cells by pressing the Control key as you drag the selected range to its new location. A copy of the original range is placed in the new location without removing the original range from the worksheet. Page 42, Carmen wants the labels and the value in range E16 through F18 moved down one row to the range E17 through F19. All right, so we're going to select the range E16 through F18. Place your mouse on the border and you'll see an arrow up and down, left and right, black arrow. Drag down one row and release. And that leaves the blank row. Okay, on page 43, we're going to cut and paste the range A3 through F19, and we're going to place it in a new location. All right, so deselect, click the name box to the left of the formula. This is the formula bar, so click to the left inside the name box and type A3 through F19, and it will select, press enter, and it will select it within the worksheet, A3 through F19. On the Home tab, click Cut. So go up to your clipboard and choose Cut. The range is surrounded by a moving border, indicating that it has been cut. Click cell A7, so A7, to select it, and then we're going to paste. This is where we want to enter the information, so click Paste, and it automatically moves it down. Using the count function, I'm at the bottom of page 43. Many financial workbooks need to report the number of entries, such as the number of products in an order, or the number of items in an expense or revenue category. To calculate the total number of items, you can use the count function. The count function counts only numeric values. Any cells containing text are not included in the tally. To include cells containing the non-numeric data, you would need to use the count A function. Turn with me to page 44. We're going to use the count and the sum functions to create an expense summary. Scroll up the worksheet and click A3. So I'm going to click A3. Type summary, just like you see in the book. Summary, press enter. In A4, type expense category, categories. And then press tab. Make sure you've spelt everything correctly, all the words correctly. In cell B4, we're going to type the function equal count, the open parenthesis, and then select the range F15 through F19. We want to count how many items are in this particular expense report, right? And then press the, be sure to type the parenthesis close and then press enter. There are five items in the list. Okay, in A5, type the words total expenses, just like you see in the book. Press the tab. And then number 7, type equal F23 as the formula and press enter. So you're making a reference You basically said, whatever is in F23, I want that same number in B5, is what you've done. The formula in cell B5 that displays the sum of miscellaneous expenses that was calculated in F23. This is a very important practice. You don't want to repeat the same calculation multiple times. Instead, use a formula that references the cell containing the formula results you wish to repeat. This way, if you must later change the formula, you need to edit only that one cell with the formula, and it will update everywhere else within your workbook or your worksheet. Okay, page 45. When you insert a new column, the existing columns are shifted to the right, and the new column has the same width as the column directly to its left. When you insert a new row, the existing rows are shifted down, and the new row has the same height as the row above it. Any cell references in a formula or in a function are updated to reflect the new new layout. Okay, Carmen asks, Med IT is providing the flower arrangements for the tables at the closing banquet of the conference. So Carmen asks you to add that expense category to the worksheet. Number 1, scroll down and click row 18 heading. So we're going to go over to the gray area and click the heading itself. The entire row is selected. Number 2, on the Home tab in your Cells group to the far right, click Insert. Insert to insert a new row. All the rows below the new row are shifted down. Number 3, enter E2, just like you see in the book, for A18, for the cell A18. And then tab and type 9025 in cell B18. Tab in C18, type, just like you see on step 3, flowers for the banquet tables. Then press tab again and enter the number 20 for D18, cell D18. Press the tab key again and type $12.50 in cell E18. Okay, number 4, we're going to copy the formula from F17. All right, so I'm just going to press enter, and we're going to F17. We're going to copy this formula and paste it in F18. Okay, so we're going to copy and then click in F18 and paste. You should now have $250 for the category expense for the flowers. The subtotal, the estimated taxes, and the grand total are also recalculated to include this new category. Now look at cell F24. It displays the grand total with several pound symbols because the column is too narrow to display the entire value. So what we need to do when you see these pound symbols, we need to widen your column width. Number 5. All right, so let's go ahead and just click to deselect and then press your escape key on your keyboard if you must to get rid of the marquee or the moving border. Okay, number 5, increase the width of column F to 12 characters using whatever method you choose. All right, so it's just easier for me to click the F heading and then go to Format, choose column width, type 12, and press Enter. On page 46, we're going to be deleting rows and columns. There are two ways of removing content from a worksheet, and that is to delete and to clear. Deleting removes both the data and the selected cells from the worksheet. The rows below the deleted row shift up to fill the vacant space. Likewise, the columns to the right of the deleted column shift left to fill the vacated space. Also, all cell references in the worksheet formulas are adjusted to reflect the change that removing the row or the column makes. On the other hand, clearing removes the data from the selected cells. Okay, deleting removes both data and selected cells, whereas clearing removes the data from the selected cells, leaving those cells blank, but preserving the current worksheet structure. You clear data from the selected cells by pressing delete. Bottom of page 46, number 1, click the row 16 heading. Row 16 heading. This selects the entire row. Number 2, on the Home tab in the Cells group to the right, click Delete. Row 16 is deleted, and the rows below it shifted up to fill the space. As you can see, one of the great advantages of using Excel is that it modifies cell references within the formulas to reflect the additions and the deletions made within your worksheet. And that's what we just did. All right, now page 48. Page 48. We're going to insert a range to enter the account IDs. So number 1, select the range A13 through A23. A13 through A23. On the Home tab, in the Cells group to the right, click Insert. Insert. We select it because we're inserting a column. So Insert, and you'll see that the information that was once in column A has now shifted over to column B. Number 4, verify that the shift, okay, we did that. Number 5, we clicked OK. Let's see, number 6, change the width. Okay, it says change the width of column B, but I am looking down here at the picture in figure 32. So I think that what we need to do, this must be an error in the book. For number 6 on page 48, we need to change both A and B to 18. They look the same to me. So just deselect and then select A heading and B heading. So we can change these at the same time. I'm going to click on Format. I'm going to choose the width, column width, type 18 characters, and press Enter, and it will change automatically. Change the width of C to 12. All right, so I'm going to click 12, Format, column width, 12, Enter. Change the width of D to 36. I'll click D, Format, column width, 36, Enter. So this is just as fast for me than dragging. And then the width of columns F and G to 14. So I'm going to select both E and, oh, it's F and G. Okay, F and G. Skipping E, we're going to change these to 14. Format, column width, 14, Enter. And then deselect. Select rows 15 through 19. That means we need to go over here to the heading and select rows 15 through 19. In the Cells group, on the far right, click the Format button. All right, so we're going to click the Format button. And we're going to click Auto Fit Row Height. All right, so Auto Fit Row Height. The selected rows auto fit to their contents. Number 9, resize the height of row 13. All right, and make it 42. Well, you can either drag or you can go over here and choose Format, and you can choose Row Height. Okay, so I just drug it down. Number 10, click cell A14. All right, A14. We're going to be using the flash fields. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So I'll go ahead and type and we'll see what happens. Flash fill enters text based on patterns it finds in the data. If you'll look at figure 1-33, it shows a picture. Flash fill generates names from the first and the last names stored in the adjacent columns in the worksheet. To enter the rest of the names, you would just simply press enter. To continue typing the names yourself, you would just press the escape key. All right, so we're going to turn to page 50. Flash fill works best when the pattern is clearly recognized from the values in the data. So be sure to enter the data pattern in the column or the row right next to the related data. The data used to generate the pattern must be in a rectangular grid, and it cannot have blank columns or rows. All right, so we're going to enter the account IDs using flash fill. If it works, we will see. Type account ID in A14, just like you see in the book, account ID. And then press the enter key. Number 2, type E2 dash 9010 in cell A15 and press enter. Number 3, type E2 dash 90 9020. As soon as you complete these characters, it says that the flash fill generates the remaining entries in the column based on the pattern you entered. All right, well, let me finish typing 20. Well, I don't see it. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is to this little bitty square in the lower left hand corner, I'm going to place my mouse on it until I see just a simple black plus and drag down. Oh, it worked. Almost. Okay, so I drug it down and now I'm looking at the numbers and I see there was really no pattern. So I'm going to change these numbers to what they should be. So double click inside the cell and change 21 to 25. Press enter and then double click in cell A18 and change the 22 to 40 like I'm seeing in the book. Press enter. And then we're going to change 23 to 45. So there really wasn't a pattern. I don't know, that must be an error in the book. All right, so then press enter. we have that information entered. And it's entered in as text because it's aligned over to the left side of the cell. Okay, we pressed enter, we accepted, okay. Now formatting, we're going to get into formatting on page 51. Formatting enhances the appearance of your worksheet data by changing its font or changing the size or the color, or maybe even changing alignment. There are two common formatting changes, and they are adding cell borders and changing the font size of text. So we're going to be adding the cell borders first. At the bottom of page 51, select the range F13, F13 through G13, and then go to the font group at the top, and here's that little picture window. This is your borders, and we're going to click the down arrow and choose all borders, all borders. Borders are added around each cell in the selected range. Let me get off of this so you can see. See, there's borders around each cell. The borders button changes to reflect the last selected border option, which in this case is all borders. So we don't need to click the down arrow. We can just simply click the all borders. All right, let's go. Number 3, select the non-adjacent range A14. So we're going to select A14 over to G, A14 to G19. Okay. And then hold down keep pressing the button and hold down the control key, control, and select, okay, release the button and then select F21 through G23. Release the button. Choose all borders at the top in the font group. Click cell A24 to deselect the range. See, now you can see we've got all borders. All right, so let's turn to page 52. Page 52. Change the font size of the worksheet title. Click up in A1. Our title is right up here in A1. And then go to the font group and click the down arrow and choose 24 for the font size. That changes the title size. And then let's save. Go up to the quick access toolbar and save. Page 53. Printing a workbook. Excel has many tools to control the print layout and appearance of a workbook. Before printing a worksheet, you will want to preview the printout to make sure that it will print correctly. And it's the same when you're turning in your work to Blackboard. Make sure that you go to the print screen and look at it for any errors that you might have, and then correct those errors before you submit. Okay, so at the bottom of page 53, number 1, click the page layout button on the status bar. Now the status bar is at the very bottom of your screen, and it's next to this zoom slider. And so right now we're in normal view, so we're going to click the page layout view just to the right. Page layout of the worksheet appears in the workbook window. On your zoom slider, we want to zoom it to 60%. So let's make this 60%. On page 54, all right, so we're looking at it, and I see that mine is all on one page. Now click the page break preview. All right, that's to the right of the page layout. Okay. And then zoom to 80%. And then they want us to click on normal. Now yours could have been in 2 pages like it shows. And then in mine, I had worked this before, so that must be why it's looking this way, because I don't see the divided dotted line. And so now we're going to click on normal view at the bottom. Okay, yours probably look like the figure in 1-37 and 1-38 on page 54. There is a dotted line. You see that at the bottom of the page on page 54. And then we're going to go back into, because that tells you that there's page 1 and there's page 2. And then on page 55, you'll click the normal view. Now we're going to change the page orientation. Page orientation, and that's what it is. I had changed the page orientation already, so let me get that back to portrait, and then I'm going to click the page layout. Okay, so I've already, it's still on one page. Okay, so I'm going to change the page orientation from portrait to landscape. So orientation to landscape. Let me go back to normal. Orientation. Okay, let me make sure a while ago. Portrait. And then let me see. Okay, so I had already done that. Okay, so, and then look at it in page break preview, and then go back to normal. Change the orientation. So click on page layout, click orientation, and choose landscape. Go back to page layout, which is to the right of normal, and look at it. It should fit on one page now. Setting the scaling options. Scaling resizes. Oh, that's another thing I had done. That's why it wasn't working. I needed to put automatic and put automatic. It's a matter of problem solving. Now this is where I'm at on the same page as you. When I clicked on my page layout, it's showing 2 pages. And when I click on the page print preview, it's showing page 1 here. Here's the dotted line, and then here's page 2. Okay, then we set the orientation to landscape, and it's still showing the dotted page 1 and page 2. And now we need to scale, use the scaling option so that the information will fit on one page rather than 2 pages. So scaling resizes the worksheet to fit within a single page or set of pages. There are several options for scaling a printout of a worksheet. All right, on page 56, on the page layout tab, so let's go up there and click on page layout tab. In the scale to fit group, okay, scale to fit group, click the width arrow, and we're going to tell it to fit on one page, and then click the height and have it fit on one page, and that will guarantee that it'll print on just the one page. It got rid of the little dot, the dotted line. Setting the print option. The preview shows you exactly how the printed pages will look with the current settings. So all we would have to do is go to, let me go to normal view, and then go to file and your print. And this is the print preview right here. The preview shows you exactly what it's going to look like. And I just, looking at this, realized that there is something that okay, I've got it in there. And I just realized that it's still showing 5 items. Let's see if the amount is correct. $64.96. Oh, even, yep, that's correct. And it is showing 5. Okay, so that is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 items. Okay. All right, so now, every once in a while, I have to double check myself. Now, we're going to file, and we went to print, and we're looking at what the sheet will look like before we print it. Below the preview, okay, this is your preview. You'll see this right here, these arrows, and it's showing that there's 1 page only. Okay, there's no more than 1 page. And then we're going to go up to the top, and let's go back, save. Let's go to page 58. Page 58. No, now we're going to, you know, when you have a worksheet, it is it's wise to go ahead and print the formulas just in case you should lose. Let's say you lose your data file somewhere, you can't find it in your computer, and so you don't have to recreate it by trying to remember what the formulas are. You can print a worksheet showing your formulas and store them somewhere in a file. And so if you have to recreate, you've got your formulas ready to go. All right, so make sure that your miscellaneous expense worksheet's showing, and mine is, and then on the ribbon, click the Formulas tab. Formulas, right here, Formulas tab. And we want to show formulas. Go to the Formula Auditing group and show formulas. When you're done reviewing the formulas, then you would just simply click the Show Formulas button again, and that hides your formulas. All right, so I always recommend that you print your formulas and store them in a file. All right, now it says to click on Normal. Well, first we want to click the Show Formulas. We're back in normal view. And then it says to zoom to 120. I don't know why, but we'll zoom to 120. 120. Oh, okay, so that you can look at it. It just magnifies it if you want to use it. Okay. And then this concludes the second session of Chapter 1.